Yeah.
Okay, so I have just, I think, two questions to ask. But first of all, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for teaching us how to play the drum. It was tough, but
Challenge.
it was, yeah, very challenging. This is my first time trying anything like that. And I think it's some form of exercise, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely.
They're like sweat.
Yeah.
My palms are like balls. But in all, I really enjoyed it. But I want to find out so that other people would also know. We know that playing the drums back in the day, I don't know about now, but back in the olden days, they used to like speak to each other, like communicate, and not just communication, but form of entertainment and what's not. Does it still have, or does it still serve that purpose?
Yes, the tradition's still there. Definitely in Africa, when we were in Senegal, there was specific rhythms used for ceremonies or for bringing together. The rhythm I did today, kuku, is literally means bring together. It's a happy vibe. It's kuku. Yeah, it's like a celebration. There's still those traditions are definitely there as part of. That could be naming ceremonies. It could be the wedding. It could be someone's just graduated, but they're used as a form of letting the rest of the community know this is happening. So
I'll just add to what Mark has just been explaining that. The rhythms have travelled, not just in Africa, but they've gone all across the Caribbean, because we're Caribbean heritage, and we took the journey to go back to learn as much as we can to complement what we've already learned in the Caribbean. And the question you asked, we know that historically things had to be done to our ancestors to stop them from playing the drums, because they were still using those to communicate with each other over distances and sending messages and all those things. And of course, over time, we've also developed other rhythms, one which is specific to the Caribbean. It's called mento. And of course that you can find all across the Caribbean. It's used as the background for many different types of music. Even you hear the Rastas, they play Nyabingi. That again is a development that's been coming forward through the original rhythms.
And one other thing, to be honest, we were speaking about it earlier about our culture and identity dying out. And do you think there is hope for us? Because now the youth, they don't really want to participate in these things, and if they are even participating, it's more for like the aesthetics.
yeah,
Do you think there's hope, and what way can we like bring this back and to genuinely get people involved and interested?
so I mean, doing things like this, definitely, because what I've noticed over the years is I'm also a youth worker. I did youth work from back in the early 90s when we had youth clubs, and we regularly have young people coming in for guidance and to learn other activities. Some of those activities I used to teach them drums. But unfortunately, the youth clubs got closed down, lots of centres got closed down, so we couldn't reach out to those people that needed it. These things are perfect because it promotes traditional arts. Now, there is hope. So we continue to do these things. Young people see this and it resonates them because they kind of then understand where the beats come from that they might listen to now. I always try and encourage young people to play instruments so they can understand how the music works. So yeah, I think that it will come back. It will definitely come back. It's got to come back because I'm getting old now. So I want to pass it on to some of the younger people here that represent obviously Africa, Caribbean, because it's important. It's important for our mental well-being, our spirituality, the longevity of our culture as well. Without me discovering this form of music, I don't know what I would have done myself, because it took me on a journey. It took me through different parts of the world. It took me to discover Africa, and it took me to help me understand more those links between Africa and the Caribbean, as Errol mentioned earlier. So I think, also, Africa is thriving. It always has thrived, but of course now, with the influence of technology and media and everything, we can actually see the real Africa now, not the whitewashed Africa that's been portrayed to the rest of the world. So that now is encouraging people from the diaspora to want to know more about Africa, and not just the continent itself, but all the traditions in it, and also where historically we come from, our ancestry. We want to find out now more about that. So I kind of went a little bit outside the box with that question, but
no, it's a big question, and as Mark says, we are enthusiastic, otherwise, we have to be. And I think when places like this, quite rightly as you said, a lot of the youth clubs and that, they're closed. All the places that young people would come together, and then they would, try things out. I was listening to something on recently where they were talking about tennis and playing tennis. Back in the day, when we were youngsters, every park had a tennis court. But now a lot of them, they've either got rid of them or they're locked up, and you can't just arrive. And it's the same for these kind of places, all closed down. So where people would gather, and then you have a couple of drums or something like that. Very, very few places now. I mean, this place is fantastic. And the work that you guys are doing here is really, really good. So I'm certainly going to spread the word about what's going on here, and certainly try and get more people to come in and see what's going on. That's why I was asking questions about how long being here and all those kind of things. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
And I'm certainly, I'm an example of that, because I used to go to workshops at the Handelsworth Play Centre. I was part of Birmingham Afro Block, which was an Afro Samba movement, and that's where I got kind of drawn into the percussion. But not only that, I got taught my history there as well, and that's where it kind of set me off. So those kind of inspirations are really needed for young people now. So yeah, keep doing what you guys are doing. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you too very, very much for having us also. We appreciate it, and
really enjoy it.
Hope to see you guys more soon.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Certainly we do.
Bless.
I'm going to ask one question from what you said.
Yeah.
Most of Africans went to Caribbean. So when one say Afro, one more or less referring to Africa. I think this Afro should be changed to Afro-Caribbean, so that we know most of the Jamaicans' roots are from Africa, and we're all brothers. So I think that is something we will consider. Secondly, how would you relay your knowledge to the Western country, America and Europe?
Well, that's a big question.
It is. While you're thinking about it, we're very fortunate because there are events that takes place in the UK at various times. Now, this centre here, it's the location is key, because just up the road from here, I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard the term, the name Harambe. There is a bookshop which is on Grove Lane, and that was the first black bookshop in this country. And it's what they celebrated. It's no longer there now because a lot of things has happened, and it would take us all day to go through the history.
It's now the Violet Cafe.
Yes, the building is still there, but that was the first Black Caribbean bookshop in Birmingham, and we got a lot of information from that location, and it helped us a lot. And Harambe, they became a focal point in Birmingham. They had a nursery, they had a bookshop, they had housing, They had many tentacles that they were in support, and of course, you know, the name's still here. Some of the initiatives that they started, they're sort of in decline, but they're still around.
See, my question is,
Yeah,
I'm thinking of the world, not the local.
I was coming to them.
And social media,
Yeah.
we are now in space age.
Yes.
You get me?
Yeah.
And the passing messages, teaching the rest of the world about African history, got to have an avenue,
Yes.
you know, and basically you have that knowledge, and how are you going to pass it on? I mean, have you prepared something whereby people know we are all very busy? See, I came here today from rugby. I drove all the way because I wanted to learn more,
Yeah.
to write more, you know. And my question is, what do I tell people, Africans, Caribbeans who are born in the Western country? You know, you go to America, you come to Europe,
Yeah.
and their life is different from someone who's born in Ghana, who's been trained in Ghana. Isn't it? Children in Ghana, they have a different attitude towards their parents
Yes.
than children in Europe
Yes.
or America,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes.
In Europe, once they are 16, they say goodbye mom, goodbye
Yes.
dad, they go.
Yeah.
You know, but with this, what I have just heard, I'll be very, very grateful to find out how you're going to pass it on. So to educate.
Some of that information is already been documented. The people who taught me to play the drums, they've travelled extensively around the continent, came back here, and of course been teaching, passing that knowledge on over a number of years. And they formed back in the 70s, 80s. They had dance groups, they had drumming groups. A lot of this stuff was actually being archived by the BBC. You can actually go and do research on the BBC website, and you can find a lot of this information that's already been documented. So in addition to the written work, there is also film archive. They traveled all over Europe, you know, and in addition to what you said earlier, we now look at, we have to encompass what we call the diaspora. The diaspora now is not just from the Caribbean, but I was fortunate enough to travel to the continent recently, and I was among African Caribbeans, I was among people from Canada, I was people from North and South America, various other places around the world, and we came together as a group to tour Ghana. So, you know, we are, and of course, exchanging knowledge, our experiences, etc. So we do, I think that there are, if for those who want to, there is extensive information already available in addition to what we can offer in the ballroom stage. For example, a lot of young people here now, when we have conversations, it's difficult to make them understand that of the changes that has taken place within this country within the last 15, maybe 20 years. Because some of the streets here, I mean, a lot of what we see now kind of coming back in terms of the far right, etc. Those things were here in very prominent. You know, those streets you couldn't go down. You know, so we know that there's been changes, and a lot of those changes have come about because of the presence of those people here. So sometimes it looks like we've been here for a long time and we haven't done a lot. But you know, we've gone through the wars.
There's been reference to what Errol was saying. So Kakuma dance company was basically from what, the 80s, right?
Yes.
They were promoting Afro-Caribbean, and they called it Afro-Caribbean arts. So that